Good morning, guys. It's Erin from Giger's Florals. Today I want to talk to you about my severely neglected chrysanthemums, why I grow them, and what they look like, these varieties that I have, and why you should give it a try. So first of all, these. The chrysanthemums, the heirloom chrysanthemums, which is what these all are hardy, barely in my zone. They should be okay. I should be able to mulch them up and winter them over, but this season it didn't work for me. I'm thankful. I took cuttings in the fall before everything went down, so I kept these. I've had them in these tiny little pots for months now, and they need to get into the ground. So the reason why I would encourage you to give these heirloom mums, a chance is because they grow and bloom at the very end of the season. For us, these didn't bloom until, it was November, the end of October into November. It was after the market season was done for me, but that was okay. I had Thanksgiving bouquets, and they were just gorgeous in the field, in the gardens. They really are. They're not what you think of when you picture when you picture a chrysanthemum. You picture at least for me, when I picture chrysanthemums, before I ever saw these types, I always pictured the grocery store mums that you get in a big pot at the end in the fall that you decorate your porch with. These are not those. These are definitely cut flower, heirloom, specialty flowers. They're so gorgeous. Wait till you see the pictures. I took some pictures last year, and I'll dig up the ones that I may not have already in my memory, so that you can see just what they look like. They're not the grocery store mums that you see. They have wild shapes and colors, and they're just brilliant, and they will last 2 weeks in a vase, easy. Chrysanthemums they're crazy. There's a reason that they get shipped all over the world and hold up well in wholesalers for flower arranging, for florists. They buy a lot of chrysanthemums, especially in the fall, just because they can hold up even out of water for a good long amount of time, and they do really well. So I want to go through the varieties with you that I have, put some pictures up so you can see how beautiful they are, and then I'll show you where I'm going to plant them, and I'll get them in the ground. Like I said, these have been in these tiny pots. Look how sad they look. Since probably last October, I put them in pots, and I just took clippings of the branches and put them in dirt, and they grew. I do want to warn you, if you're going to do your own propagating this way, that you want to make sure that they're heirloom varieties that don't have patents that can get you in trouble. These are all heirlooms. I got them from Harmony Harvest Farm last year. I just ordered an heirloom pack, and they sent what I didn't know what they were going to be. They just sent the ones that they had, and these were all gorgeous. So let's go through the varieties. This first one, and forgive me when I butcher the names, is called Quan Yan Hung. It's a pink, very full flower. It's a gorgeous color. It goes well with just about anything, that kind of pink. And it's a big, full, gorgeous, just wonderful bouquet filling type bloom. The next one that I have is called Oberlin, and I do have notes down here so I don't forget which one is which. Oberlin, oh yeah, this one, it was kind of a bronzy sort of color, almost. Bronze is probably the best description. Leans orange, sometimes champagne, depending on which light it was in, but it had these crazy spiky petals that went all over the place. It was really fun to use. This next one is called Coca Bunmi, something like that. This is another pink one. It's kind of a multicolored, it almost has a shimmery quality to it. And the shape of this one reminded me of, it's weird, I know. it reminded me of a jellyfish. It had this big ball of petals on top and then tendril type petals that came down from the bottom. It's really, really cool. This next one, I only have one left of. It's called Brilliant. So Brilliant, oh, this was an orange one, and it's a classic chrysanthemum shape that you're used to. It's just a very big plant with bigger flowers, but the shape that you imagine on a grocery store mum is what this plant has. The next one I've got here, this one was called Chesapeake. This guy, it's all wonky. Chesapeake was a white one, but it's a spider. The petals just went straight out in all kinds of crazy direction. Like it's the variety or the flower shape is called a spider. It's really, really interesting and not anywhere near close to what you pictured a grocery store mum. This next one that I have here, this one's called Charming Beauty. Champagne Beauty. Charming Beauty was a tulip that I grew. This one is sort of a, I don't know, in person it was really a champagne color. It was more of an orangey sort of yellow. Really pretty. The shape of it was kind of wild and interesting. It had different petals that would shoot out almost randomly. Very full flower, and lovely to work with. And then this one here, this last one is called, these ones are probably the strongest, had a bigger pot, I guess. This one was called Seaton's J'adore. It was a peachy color, a very full flower. Almost reminded me of a dahlia, like the shape of it, but definitely a chrysanthemum type petal. Very beautiful. I'm really excited because last year I only had one of each of these, so I only got a few blooms that I could see what it was going to be, and I had 10 different varieties then. This time now I only have 7 because there were a few that didn't really do it for me. I had some short ones, and some that were kind of, they were very mum, like grocery store mum like, that just, it wasn't what I was looking for. But these guys, these are all, every one of them will get 4 feet tall and be absolutely covered in blooms. I'm going to end up, after they grow up a bit, I'm going to end up having to stake them and corral them like I do my dahlias, because these guys definitely fell over. Can you hear that crow? These guys definitely fell over in the weather. And there's no correcting that. They're somewhat brittle, their stems, so they don't do well. Once they're flopped over, they stay flopped over. If you try to correct it, you could break the whole plant off at the base. So, and I did that with one of them. That crow is very noisy. And he's yelling at somebody. Okay, so I'm gonna walk over, I will show you where we're gonna put them, and then I'll just get them in the ground, and I'll show you what they look like when that's all done. Okay, this is where the mums are gonna go, down at the end of this row. This is where we have the scented geraniums and the eucalyptus down there, and my volunteer sunflower, right next to all the rest of the sunflowers. So I just want to point out, because it looks kind of messy, but all of these, this is a feverfew, and I've got a bunch of them down here as well. They all self-seeded. Note to self, don't let your feverfew go to seed. But these particular ones, I'm going to let bloom before I rip them out, because the feverfew that I did plant on purpose didn't do real well. So I'm going to let these bloom. I'll just plant around them, and then once they bloom, I'll pull them all out. But this section right here is where we're going to put the mums. So planting mums, because they get so big, I mean, they'll get really big. I will plant them about 12 inches apart. I'm basically just going to run them right along the drip tape, so that they have plenty of room. I can corral them easily and they get all the water that they need. So now I'm going to get these in the ground. Okay guys, that's gonna do it for this video. The mums are all on the ground. I can't wait to show you how they progress throughout the season, and then all the way into the fall when they're blooming and just gorgeous. So I hope that you enjoyed this. If you have more questions about chrysanthemums, heirlooms specifically, leave comments. I'll try to answer as much as I possibly can. If I don't know, I'll try to point you in the right direction. So like I said, I'm excited to see how these do and show you throughout the season. Leave a comment, leave a like button, subscribe if you haven't, and then I'll see you guys in the next video.